Awesome. Thanks everybody for joining us. So in preparation for the start of early voting, which starts February 10th, UTC's Mocs Go Vote Committee has asked City Council candidates to join us to talk to area high school and college students to share their vision for the future of Chattanooga and answer their questions. So joining us now is current incumbent and candidate for District 4, Mr. Darrin Ledford. So Councilman Ledford, I will hand it over to you and you can introduce yourself.
Well, thanks. I'm Darrin Ledford, the Chattanooga City Councilman for District 4. I am also a proud Moc, and I'm a first-generation college student. And I graduated in 1994 with a degree in fine arts, graphic design of all things. And my dream was to start my own business. And through working in student government at UTC and spending a lot of time with the chancellors, student government, and also chairman of the student conduct board, I was able to basically build the confidence in order to take that leap and build my business. And if it wasn't for a small university or mid-sized university now, UTC, I'm very grateful for what the experience I had there, and I'm just incredibly enamored by what UTC has become since I graduated in 1994, and I'm very excited. Spent a lot of time with Dr. Angle and talking about community issues and concerns, and I'm just very happy to be here. I am running again to serve my city and the district. My current position is chairman of the Planning and Zoning Committee, which is extremely important right now, especially in this time in history, as I'm overseeing the city's complete zoning review being done by a consultant. So it's very important that we look at housing as a key issue, affordable housing especially, and what we do with properties in the city and putting more tools in the toolbox to make that happen.
Great, thank you. Katie, I will hand it off to you. You can ask the first question.
Yeah, sure. So my first question for you, Councilman Ledford, is it is known that you support local businesses for economic growth and tornado relief in District 4. What is your plan to continue in those efforts if you keep your seat?
So what we have in District 4 is, I guess we could talk a little bit, Katie, about where we were and what was accomplished. The recovery effort in District 4 was one of the largest recovery efforts put forth in history. We were boots on the ground from day one. Millions of dollars were spent in emergency funds that I helped usher through, constant contact with the agencies and establishing the tornado relief volunteer center and distribution center, working with state reps. Some people don't know this is actually going out on a mailer right now, but I worked with state representatives and state officials to facilitate the new cell devices that were based on satellite technology, because the firefighters, for example, within the district could not communicate. And they said, and at the command post, they said, Darrin, I said, I got this. I know who to call. And so using the relationships that I have built over decades of being in business in this city, understanding how government works, and our Hamilton County delegation, we were able to put forth that effort, which really helped our firefighters in the field, because they could not communicate. It was very frustrating. That's probably one, Katie, of about 25 stories that I know we don't have time to cover everything. So moving forward, priority is on infrastructure repair. One of the very first things I did was reach out to our CDOT department, and I said, hey, Jenkins Road, where the tornado just ripped through there, I said, it was in horrible shape. I said, we need to do something quick. We need to resurface this road. And they said, well, there's a lot of building going on. It's going to get tore. I said, no, we need to give people a sense that not only do we care, we've already shown that we care, because the city public works department was incredible. The organization, the man hours, women hours was phenomenal. And I know, because for 3 solid weeks, it was just incredible. But I said, we need to repave Jenkins and get, that, show people, hey, there's hope in that we're working on that. So the other thing that I did was I eliminated, with the help of my colleagues, if you're rebuilding in East Brainerd right now, you will not pay any city permit fees. Now that's huge. Now you take Grace Academy, for example, just as one example. We recently went to their groundbreaking, and they told me before the announcement, they said, you have no idea how much that helped us be able to not have to deal with that or those fees and moving forward. Now, take that one step further, Katie. Anybody rebuilding due to the tornado will not have to face those fees. That's one thing that we did, and I had to work with the state actually and work through MTAS to get that done, to get permission. The second part is you may have heard in the news, folks were getting city code violations for overgrown lots where there were no houses. Well, Katie, be honest with you, I didn't think that was very fair, so I changed the law. And with the help of my colleagues, I'm very proud to say that in a natural disaster area like that, that more leniency will be given in consideration. And that's what we should be doing as legislators, is looking for ways to use what we can do to help our community.
Great. I think that perfectly answered my question.
Okay.
Going kind of off with public safety and, first responders. They're a big part of your reelection campaign. I was researching everyone today, looking at, what y'all were trying to do and what your plans were. And do you see it necessary to strengthen police training in Chattanooga? Do you think that the current standards have downfalls? If so, where are the downfalls?
So this is something I would tell even my 11-year-old son as we move through life, Katie, and that is, there is always room for improvement. And to realize that and to move forward and to embrace that with the utmost of energy is something we should all do. Nobody's perfect. Nothing's perfect. Government certainly isn't perfect. And we should be working towards improvement. And when we are made aware of things, Katie, then that's our time, and not only our time, but our responsibility to act. And I look forward to doing anything possible to improve not only public safety, but helping our Chattanooga Police Department improve its relations with our community. I mean, one of our primary functions, you have to understand, as city government, is in public safety.
Hi, my name is Fatima. I am a part of the Mayor's Youth Council, and I'm super into like politics and government and things like that.
Good for you.
I think the youth voice has been gaining a lot of recognition, both like on social media and national media. But my question to you is, what youth issue are you planning to focus on? What do you think the most important youth issue is to focus on within District 4?
Thank you. And can I ask a qualifier to your question? What age group are you referring to when you say youth?
I am a high schooler myself, so I was thinking along the lines of middle school and high school, but you can take that however you want to.
Great. So let me answer first with this. I do not have a middle school or a high school in the District 4 area. I have East Brainerd Elementary as my only elementary school. That being said, I am a father. I have an 11-year-old son that is the absolute joy and love of my life, next to my wife, of course. So what I think we need to focus on the city, and a lot of people will tell you, you'll hear this to say the city got out of the education business years ago. Well, maybe technically we did, but education is a responsibility for all of us. So through community programs, through, let's take the Jack Benson Heritage Park, for example. There's a lot that can be done still with utilizing the park to bringing folks together, whether it's cultural events, there's movies, some of this is pre-COVID, but there's a lot of opportunities at our park that we're missing. You know, we have one of the dog parks in the city that we spend time with. But when it comes to education, I think that it's important that first of all, we get back to school. I think that's critical. And I mean, remote learning is definitely has its challenges. We've seen it in our house, but I think that missing that interaction and that strengthening, and I'll go back to the Heritage Park. We do not have a YFD center in District 4. It might be good for you to note that. That's why I keep going back to the Heritage House and the Jack Benson Heritage Park, which is my only park that we have. and a place for folks to gather as families. But strengthening our families is very important. Our kids need our utmost attention. And we as parents, I mean, I'm a huge advocate for this, is we need to take even more responsibility to ensure our kids are not only learning and they don't fall behind in literacy, for example, because that's a huge issue. I'm reading an article today about Governor Lee's action signed, and we have got to maintain and make sure that these kids don't fall behind so far. And if that means more people getting involved in the Hamilton County education system, then I'm all about it. I will do whatever I need to do to do my part. And I encourage people not to sit back and let other folks handle the job.
Great. Yeah. Either one of you, if you have another question, go for it.
I can go ahead and ask the next one. And thank you so much for answering my first question. I think you answered it just like exactly how I wanted it to be answered. But and this is a bit more of a broad question, but I know that obviously you are an incumbent, you have served before. And one thing I was wondering is, as a councilman, what like positive change do you think you've seen in the community during your tenure, and what maybe more negative change do you think you've seen in the community during your tenure?
First of all, fantastic question, and thank you for being involved in a desire to learn more about politics, because I think your attitude is spot on. So let me tell you this real quick. I love to tell this story. I'm not a politician. I'm a small business owner. I ran for office because I thought I could take in small business experience into city government and facilitate some operational efficiencies. That's kind of where my strength is. But let me fast forward 4 years. I am not the same person that who took office 4 years ago. I'm not the same person at all. I'm not the same person that graduated from UTC in 1994. And I'm pretty grateful for that. The experiences of being on a council with 8 other different personalities and learning about the other districts and their needs and their challenges and just overall philosophies has made me a better council rep, for one, because I now understand and I'm familiar. Last night we were in a council, and Mr. Harris from North Brainerd said, "Hey, thanks Councilman Ledford, because over in District 5, I helped do some things through my company." And that's because I learned from Councilman Gilbert there was a need for something that I could help with. So the experience, and I think that you can, as an incumbent, you just cannot measure against somebody who's looking to do this, is critical, because it's experience. I mean, this is the fullest part-time job anybody will ever have. And I'm very grateful for the experience that I get to spend learning about my entire city. And I think that understanding, that coupled with intense operational study of our city budget and understanding where inefficiencies can be fixed, is critical. Someone coming in cannot do that. I'm sorry. You need to look through those budgets. I've looked through 3 of them now. And sometimes I have submitted up to, just 70 pages of questions on the budget. So that's kind of my nerdiness coming out, but that's okay. I think we need more of that and compassion and a willing to learn about our other districts and listen to our colleagues and be there to support them with whatever they come with.
We've got time for one more quick question. I think we have about 2 minutes left. So if one of you has something quick. Go for it.
Fatima, you can go ahead. I'm out of questions if you want to ask one more.
You want me to wrap up, Chris?
No,
go. If you have another quick question, go for it. I don't want to stop.
Go ahead.
My last question is just, if you could give one message to everyone in the district, just because I'm working on a local campaign right now, I know how hard it is to get people to hear about local campaigns. If there's one thing you could say to everyone in your district and know that they would hear you, what would you choose to say?
Please vote. There's 122,000 registered voters in the city of Chattanooga, and less than 20% participate in city elections. That's not acceptable, and no one should accept that. Do your homework, listen to the candidates. Don't, this is the older guy in me coming out here, but do your homework. Do not rely on social media and other outlets to tell you what to do. You do your own homework, because your vote is very responsible, and your vote is very important, and your participation will shape and move the future of our city. Look for experience, look for priorities that match yours, look for leadership, look for vision, look for boldness.
Great. But I think that's a good note to end on. If you're good with it. Councilman Ledford, we really appreciate your time and sharing your thoughts with us.
Absolutely. Thank you all for having me. I enjoyed it so much.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.